nyina kwa bia emfa emra bedwam dwumade so on Adom TV. Live on DSTV channel 280, Go TV channel 119. Multi TV dey give us so live and so honum. Sound so and yatrasi. He streaming so Facebook. On Facebook here Adom TV Extra. Adom TV Extra. Sound so na ba Facebook rather so betimi ahwe on Adom TV. Adom TV. As with me, I share no comment. Then on YouTube, and so Adom TV. All kind of hear me more here. Watch us more on YouTube because the videos near clear. You have quality pictures. Here, bet me, I show because you have the quality cameras. Pa. You have the KKKK cameras. Nature. Watch us on YouTube. Adom TV. Just comments or any. Near KK and family. Adophobia. I would happy birthday and confirm a fear ata dankwa ene ata kofi dankwa ya munyina mo KNUST Kumase ene ma woda. We pray for long life. Yankopon won shiramo. So happy birthday to a fear ata dankwa and kofi ata kofi dankwa. Yes, ata kofi dankwa munyina mo KNUST. Yeah, work Kumase. Wishing you all the best. Yankopon won shiramo. No for a fear to do a bremeka mumfie eho. Yana some breast na mo share live on Adom TV. Now I can't say we any now so kuche nyina an audio from any ato podcast. To bet me akoto in case e bia say adwuma yenti e bia time start e bia na yakọ yanim no na bibia bu want me ahwa onya kodu fie on podcast set for Adom TV. Search Adom TV on podcast. Na eno so tie so bibia fa bia say Twitter say X na bia Adom TV. And I know Eddie Jumasa. But in the Akwasi, in Sabajafo Atlas, Yababedi and Combo. Director of Communications, about Ministry of Education. Kwesi Kwati, 7 Kase Watanase. We are looking forward to Dr. Aye, member of the NDC National Communications Team. So, yes, Kwesi Bokode. Minister, who ye? Oh, yes, I don't. As a Muzo, I think I do, say. Information Ministry. Yeah, International Day Universal Access to Information. Yeah.
On the tobacco. Over Juma 6:30. Or 12 hours a day.
12 hours
a day. Every day. On call. Na Caribbean ha abajuma jada. Mine near Jumena. They be okujana Caribbean. Obaja vanse union no so boy security for na obaja obia.
Wow.
And so not there. We work just about the day na mu. We see if we play man. Obviously, only the Edgema. Papa.
Hey, what's slow down?
Papa, no Edgema.
What's slow down? Why? Slow down. 12 hours a day.
12 hours a day.
Continuous.
Yes. Random, no bit me Obia or ministry. 12 hours every day. Yeah, every day.
Oh.
Now, Papa, if you're okay with the Ampana, because I'm not a bread. But also presented where I watch it. Do what if you are not about
I'm reaching an Ankasana there.
No correct.
No free mobile.
No correct.
Yeah, na. Yes, what person compromise on?
Yes.
Yes, and I bet me a compromise. I quite remember USMS for one head of communication, friend Sarah, and the trust number for the Bimbo. But we said it na Ghana media invite him program and we late. Now so nyabo tafi.
As I feel about
as soon as it do me program to be starting no me do ya.
As the way you crew.
Sister we here for back up. Ministry to say.
Oh yes, Adom. Maybe aboko. Say so far there. Say Jumano so far we share abai ho den kase pa na ko jira Ministry of Education.
Okay.
Ministry of Education ya Jumon. Ya Jumon papa. We share the bia na you common any penny now doing say free senior high school education.
Okay.
But you know, a banning promise say no all right. In the end, we have to account to the people and how to count buying. But most importantly, the STEM no money at the ABA, new STEM schools no money at the robotics, near STEM career pathway, career robotics, artificial intelligence no money I don't know.
Okay.
And then ultra modern buildings here, but we back here East Legon here, across STEM Academy.
Yeah.
There's a changing the facelift of what the classroom should be. And the Eguso yejuma. I'm say the only thing I can you know almost over call to our school, senior high school, so no more will be seen. Hopefully by end of the month, all things being but idea will confirm same. I mean, proposed data and official ministry but to Jano.
Okay.
Because I was able to be 10 now.
Yeah. Come. Okay. Tell for that was strike.
Oh, you know, Mushi. I quite remember 2 days ago I was even part of the meeting. We had 2 days continuous meeting. Okay. But the breaky on the first day, and say, yeah, to me, NC engineer with regards to some or mobile. Me per se before more number, but baby, yeah, say you could read any day, not for any agent. Okay. Whether government side, no, you tell on mobile a gawa SSC. Yeah, the senior staff association. No more a cocoa, sitag, no more cocoa and so. And they know me in ACI. Now, a lot of them were agreements and implementation, not a cost. But what minister did, they say, or more update on the implementation and the commitments if you be a now here certain information or data from even the unions to be able to process. Most of them were administrative staff for university. Yeah. They hear data they process, which can say be able to fear. One of the
university can be required then you are for because some more processing is
what I say. I don't want to hear you so I feel next salary not perfect. Indeed, you know what in command and say Juma. Or more say they are going back to their constituency because leadership when they are more represented on more constituency. And the expectation is almost Badwam and yesterday be a drill. 1% or more strike action essence and will go back to because the truth is one casa no motive your money. Obia ni wa on don adwuma okoma omudo omadwuma ho. Na hu akoye se ni na because the bread and butter issues. But the first thought that's one casa tri ho na e bone.
Abanjoro gya ne say ya.
And e beto abayi so and o kasa kwachi pa so far no there. We are just waiting for official correspondence from them.
Because why you know ministry? I think this is your 70th or 8th year.
That's the ministry.
The ministry. Yeah. What has been a challenge with this? It is as if every year being a teacher strike.
I think I will take it more on a mainstream labor issue than a Ministry of Education issue. We say all over the world there say be a juma ni ho asema there are sometimes inflationary pressures. Okay. Your fuel more be the deal ho asema ni nyina ye send sabakona no ho asema and all those things on the back no more back beka ho asema. But it's not that simplistic as how we see it. Sometimes negotiation table without any disrespect to anyone. Some of them between the 50 items. It will interest you to know, say, basis on the could be a strike and answer demonstration. Maybe 2 of them will be valid. But don't say, what can you buy? What can you penny demand to man? As buy so do not the issue. In this media banter, no money, I don't know, it may not be necessary. But there are also legitimate concerns also here. And so I buy beer anywhere we as be and me out to a what now call send a man was 10,000. I did say I know so I call you say only 50,000. Oh, yeah. Just one know to train to know about Quaback to watch na be a maintain once I judge more so make a strike. Tibu able to be as another matter I feel no more strike answer. No, it's part of the process. And a strike, you know, even the constitution of Ghana envisage it. Say a idea bit in my day, Abba, until I make you room and provisions for it. It's more or less like a protective mechanism for be or human.
So with your about 8 years experience at the ministry, having a full oversight of near-course educational sector, would you, on your kind of opinion, would you suggest send maybe a focus so a protected the health workers? No? Maybe we can do similar for teachers.
Well, let me put this across. First of all, my boss did 8 years or okay. 8 years. Maybe they
oh, okay. Okay.
Now, I would have been more, grateful if we question what kind of protection they might help.
So you see, say, it looks as every year be a teacher strike, whether from UTAG to NAT to NAGRAT, every year be a looks as or minor enya, but the entire when it comes to the health sector. Is there be a separate within my health workers and the teachers and to me and benefit because it's about salary. I think the bases are clear. Yeah. Will be a level be able to be our salary I would deserve it. But there are other certain name be a bit me consider for teachers could be me first to minimize your strike because meaning say the ripple effect of these strikes on our students.
Yeah, I mean, I can say you take it more on a labor issue than because a normal boy how on demand no. It has nothing to do with the fact that they are teachers per se, but it's just because be a me juma na adie we no me who say be a we enyebi e won na juma mu kameso me nya bia kameso me dem pepe. But you see we have so one more conditions of service no, particularly this government no. Menya sure say ban bia page teacher for edibo am teacher for and aban. But of course Oliver says you always ask for more. Okay? One has to do with teacher professionalization at the buy. And can you so be a juma school obey no obey a banker, obey a journalist, obey a central for obey a doctor. Or quite no no and you go teacher be and then
allowance.
And then you the teacher shouldn't be a back for instance fallback plan.
Also make us say, oh, me koye teacher na me papa bia
yes say as part of say bo more to enhance their skills and skill set and development upgrade no there be a fair no continuous professional development allowance by
okay
I been see what by BM in the history of
continuous professional development allowance
yes because who cheche ni no onu sua de enfan say be 20 years ago so 20 years ago me a refresher course ko bi da on to textbook da sa pra na okoche wo badio tiaban hihye mu no at every month bia no ese chene no upgrading the skill set no nyen nimde papa esuahu papa entete papa ekoso the current and updated form of methodologies and the HRD some provisions in aban afi na 1200 Ghana cedis afi ya 100% increment to
2400
yes
every year
every year we go even beyond that even non-professional teachers almost the be no muji 800 cedis almost call 1200 Ghana cedis okay go even beyond that aban na yen say ma 350,000 teachers one ma obia laptops I will be use so 350,000 teachers ko ma laptops we need free next month say more data each teacher 800 Ghana cedis so no one find the research and money ade nti we share the kind of for say the focus aban no dey ma the teaching professional and ebu abo mo ho enka ne say be ebu who's a teaching profession is colleges of education or your diploma and those are by now PGM at the minimum qualification also here to be a teacher is degree and which means say qualification also tally with and I correspond with nipa na ketua can know a diploma na ya page na ba degree na ketua so dey e koso me boa nti aban na ye bibra ma cheche for na so wo mo akoya adwumayefo nko a say be ebu afibia bi abeto fuel mu which is not determined by the Ministry of Education or even the country as large. Those indicators now a lot of them are external factors and are variables external factors they control it where they are they will have legitimate reasons you have to sit with them now no normal job that's the beauty of leadership near normal can they are by bit my no near normal can enter aside there ayeduma we kura dey na no gawa for no near they particularly no is not a cheche for ankasa per se but on my point say university administrators almost boa with a juma no also them concerns by na e be to abanzo say those things because it's
mo anyamo this time
mo so brace also na here as whether the concerns are valid or not valid no also tell
so maybe bit me akoba say some of most of the time here na akoy say promises in by election year
any promises say usually na implementation issues
I said make us promises no say promise na dia for implementation
obviously
it aban dia hopepere oh ye pay bia continuous allowance bia be say 3,000 aban her circumstances around there madiatum so next year be start
and I say we say we aban na I can't say man some control aban na obi so pension say ya one here we betie no we end the sana tie
consequence head of communication the Minister of Education I want to say Dr. Samia member of the NDC National Communications, also spokesperson on NDC Youth Development. Dr. Bokode.
Bokode.
Now consulting room na.
Emsa. Tenona.
Yeah, that's it. Nipa kwa na oji ntia na dia.
Of course.
Well received. NDC mabunu Ghana mabunu da to say. As we speak.
Sisi ade emse anopa me de jiakese pa be kwama etiefo nyina Ghana for nyina NDC for nyina ena me no kase Ghana mabunu ena amamu bone a na na akufo ado ne ba omia ebui omo pa na etiawo. Because at the last reckoning, now Ghana Mabunu constitutes almost 62% of Ghana's population. What it means is that so we are buying in Shishaya Odigu Akwemu must be geared towards making sure say Sa Mabuni on Watom. And then I say unemployment rate at a staggering 14.7%. And Mabunu 1.9 million. And I come to you because Omenyuma sem asay.
Okay.
Nasani na as a result of very terrible economic conditions are Ghana Fokum. And ne dollar is 16 cedis. And ne enkani fuela na ye tono 14 cedis per gallon. And ne 70 cedis per gallon. And to say, oye juma na operate on 70 cedis per gallon fuel. The business is likely to run into a loss. And if you are running at a loss at that rate, what it means that you have to lay off workers. And a lot of banks have been collapsed. Ama omo aye for omejuma no yapamo. Businesses I want Ghana enkane na omofa Ghana mabuno adwuma Glovo, Lipton, Nivea, any a host of companies are na omofa Ghana for mabuno adwuma. Oma free Ghana because Ghana etwa etwamene etwa a good businesses na MPP are buying and Nana Akufo-Addo ne ba o me de good business so. Enti Nyama modin ema Ghana mabuno. Enti ene utie ye papa John Dramani Mahama baby obeko bia mabuno di nachi. Because only the only hope for them. Papa John Dramani Mahama the policies bebra ba wa ba mo ye bi. University of Ghana Medical Center, Range Hospital, and these projects were the basis of massive employment projects are a CA under NDC. And now call Range Hospital, nurses, doctors, and they are getting permanent employment too. And yanapko. Dada febo mube di omubenya salary, omubenya pay amomwa tomo. Ya papa say oba under the big push projects, obe complete all uncompleted projects are ye hospitals. Ye other infrastructure projects are ye be biem amanafa Ghana mabu. Ye papa saka 24 hours economy. 3-shift system. 1 job for 3 people at 3 different shifts. Also about my National Women's Bank. And on the bank is from Kwan. Ebe bie nyuma ma ye mame. E di soft loans ebe ma ye mame ni ye nua mamwa. Omo peso obo bie adwuma. And as a bank no, e ye man kwa na be ye mu bank manager. E man kwa na be ye mu teller. E man kwa na be ye mu security officials. E man kwa na be ye mu IT experts. And a man kwa suna ebe mo loan. Ye papa ka national apprenticeship program. Ye papa ka 1 million coders program. Just a host of policies are. Ye papa de ba ye targeted at Ghana mabuno. Ye papa sa ka no academic fee stress policy. And no first year students in public tertiary institutions, whether university, whether training college, whether nursing training, will benefit from this policy, especially at a time Ghana, ya mame, ya papa mu adofwa omodi omosika ko sie ekoto bonda 1 million of them lose omosika through the draconian domestic death exchange program. Omosika she ebimu afa wanya stroke ayare that dem ayem hye ebimu de ka enu tienti ntua nkofo school fees.
Okay.
Ya papa say sa police na eba ebebo amonti Ghana mabunu under this regime any young ya and ne oko kotoka international airport beka say a marketplace just obia dwane afiko ama time bia ba ye friend japa e kire say wa dwane afi o hawo ne kodandem enka ne na Ghana ntesa.
Okay.
Enti so bi sa me say Ghana mabunu ho tesan a asem e wa ne say Ghana mabunu edi yawo edi abenedi awreho aka ho a ho hwe say December 7 2024 ombeto abama number 8 His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
So on why Unilever is leaving Ghana. Story on myjoyonline.com, 16th of May 2024 at 11:42 p.m. Also, Unilever Ghana PLC has addressed reports suggesting that the relocation of 8 Lipton tea production line to 8 subsidiary in Nigeria was due to unfavorable business conditions in Ghana. The company clarified that the halt in tea production is part of a global strategy to transfer operations to the Nigerian firm and is not related to macroeconomic challenges. Unilever Ghana, one of the longest operating fast-moving consumer goods companies in the country, was also mentioned in this context following the suspension of 8 Lipton tea production line. However, the managing director of Unilever Ghana, Chris Caesar, clarified that the decision is part of a broader global strategy to optimize operations and leverage the strength of 8 subsidiaries. Quote, certain decisions are taken at the global level, which sometimes impact us. Around 2019, we had to transfer our oils and sprays business to another company, Upfield, located next door. This is all part of a global strategy to focus on specific core categories within the organization. So basically, not because of the economic challenges.
Already first 2 lines was the same because of the.
It's not because of the.
No, the first 2 lines was say we are leaving Ghana because of what harsh business and economic thing.
Okay. So Unilever Ghana PLC has addressed report suggesting that the relocation of 8 Lipton tea production line to 8 subsidiary in Nigeria was due to unfavorable business conditions in Ghana. The company clarified that the halt in tea production is part of a global strategy to transfer operations to the Nigerian firm and is not related to macroeconomic challenges.
Look, you see, these businesses, they are very diplomatic. They are very, very, very diplomatic. And then I'm Ghana. Because at the time I'm Ghana, no, not business here. Not business here. And then Nipa watch so Nipa purchasing power above them. And Nipa mean to product first now no more. And so they will run at a loss because if you have reduced patronage whilst you maintain your workers out, you run at a loss. It is simple. Why would the company open in Ghana and later leave? And they will be diplomatic. All because by born they are very diplomatic. But within Omorant, they know
for example,
why they left Ghana.
Maybe for example, Global is a multinational company, but they were specific when they were leaving Ghana because of the economic challenges.
Simple.
Unilever say, maybe because of economic challenges. But I say global.
Me say, global. One can go.
Yes.
Almost say Ghana, Mamua say Ghana economy in here. Enter me free Ghana. It is a way the culture of say.
Yeah.
About different excuse not be diplomatic. It doesn't take away the fact that Ghana had now to we wouldn't say Ghana.
Was among 4 a
Oh yes.
Among 480.
I am the saw walk around the canka global once because global na the canka say. Ghana economy not to up and send to no Ghana if Ghana. And if you have other companies, several of them are on free Ghana. Now, I catch so it is a generalized company strategy, me please. You know that just rationalization. They just want
to global Unilever. We find difficult and characterized as a diplomatic.
You see, Unilever, we all have friends and colleagues in that company, and we have spoken to them, and we know what went on. we know what went on. No be any. I am the class of crowd global assembly buy. Why would they leave Ghana? I had a company back Ghana some time ago. No, say we're free Ghana. Why? If businesses was booming, and why they were so good and no pay? Second business a boom here and come free Ghana.
That's why Unilever doesn't only deal in Lipton.
Oh, say me Lipton.
And if you read the story now the managing director has more kind Ghana consumption level 4 Lipton Ecoform, but arising in Nigeria. So in business terms, it will be wise to do the production in Nigeria rather than doing production in Ghana. Always, I don't know.
Ghana patronage consumption.
That is it.
You have actually answered yourself. And the entire
me, I
don't know why we are stressing. I don't know why we are stressing over that. Some mankind entirely liver. I didn't mention entirely liver. I mentioned one part of the year. Yes. It means that they want to service the other part of the world. Almost say countries, country no consumption of winner perform. I don't know. People are not buying.
When's the last one on Lipton?
Oh, me no Lipton.
When's the last time?
Oh, me quite do mama Lipton no pebia. Me no Lipton no pebia. I take it. Me fall it. But one that's our kind way they take for.
What say? Governor say if free Adom. President Shia organized labor.
The youth we don't want to be.
I want to become youth.
Oh, say and I know your youth. See the youth.
And 2% youth.
Oh, this is a brief one.
Okay.
Made the main question. One say Sebi Ebru, engineer political communication, and me, I personally have a problem with the approach of political communication at TV. So, in the Abribia, Mimia, and you may do frame say, Mimra TV so to come and represent the party. The first question was as one I'm naming here.
Okay.
Me busasa without any form of discrimination or disrespect to anyone. But I want to understand how the conversation will go.
Okay.
You say, and I'm sure I got back for Kesbe. You didn't come on Galamsey. There are instances I may admit it and no. When it comes to A, B, C, D, enforcement, we need to do more. We do too. One also me I dream baby. They are babies so you play the politics of it.
Okay.
But the style of political communication, I share with him directly. And tell the average Ghanaian, say, in spite of the successes that we've achieved as a country, or as a people, everything is a failure because I belong to political party A or B, is a problem in this country. It's a problem. There is no better intervention for the future of the youth in the area of education than the free senior high school policy. You can't say overrating, but me fear me free, me a first generation JHS graduate. Be a first generation SHS graduate. Be a first generation master's graduate. And then you go papa. If you there is maybe a first generation lawyer. If you be free, me free one. But for the intervention of free access, me free me being who beat my baby. And if you are talking about a prospect, maybe for the youth, what is more a friend is say prospecting for the youth than enrollment? Now all time now you 299,000, and this time around the same youth they come once them you increase enrollment to over 504,000. There is nothing going on. In the name of what? Political communication. Because I represent NDC and I represent MPP. It means to me, show anyone can tell say, oh, Breno, we be papa or when him. You never bet so hard that I say, on the subject matter of unemployment of Penika, let me tell you one very open minded approach on this whole unemployment issue. Oh, on Kwarama 1,000. No motifia, no munya jumanya. Now, by ba. No, be created jobs for 800 of them. The 800 will remain quiet. The other 200 will still be searching. Won't be Casaso, a Juman in NA. And you could take 200 no at the expense of the 800. So when you want to measure will be success, a baby success on unemployment rate, and I say employment, you measure based on the available data. We can boldly say, in a space of 7-8 years, you created 2.1 million jobs. Mention yours. Unlike Papa, like Mr. Rashid Pepper, your town got to say, and you know why the memoir and the youth and a boy, normal and tongue. That is what you told us. That is the approach that you had. But that is not the approach. On my data was 14% unemployment rate. But my main child, I'm going to quote a source, one source. And that's not how we do political communication. You give one Opa, me will live back. You didn't give a source. But I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you, respectfully. My source. World Development Index data shows that unemployment rate in Ghana averaged 3% between 2017 and 2019, compared to 5% in 2016. What are you talking about? Mama source, World Development Index.
Where year, man?
Where year 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, you can set.
And now a reference year, man.
A reference between I think it's a span. Okay. 2017 to 2019.
2017 to 2019.
2017 to 2019. And again, also at the same time, I say rate in Ghana averaged 3% between 2017 and 2019, compared to 5% in 2016. While youth unemployment averaged 6% over the same year period, down from 10% in 2016. Oh, there was 10%, ours is 6%. We are not saying say solve problems we are. And Ghanaians admit, so when it comes to unemployment issue, we have not solved every problem. No, that has not been our approach. You baby and cast solve problem. They are still youth, Ghanaian youth. Maybe when we call this, as of now, they will call you someone per GS a Juma day. But I know that also change the fact to say, I used to buy it every year we recruit teachers. Every year we recruit nurses. Unlike yours, yeah, but by in 2017. Now, teach nurses are not good. You had 3-year backlog. 3-year backlog on motive. You are a health professional. More doctors in Pano motive, you can't know maybe housemanship. About 2-3 years we're still in the house. Now go power, you are back cleaning now. What about you are a medical doctor? When you are telling us there is unemployment rate. Yes, baby, I was here drew us of mine. We may not be there, but baby, I was here anyhow. And you can paint a very gloomy picture and make it look like say a buy a fairly youth. Another Ghana for a bit too quiet. Won't you get a WhatsApp? Never for a simple for a quality and Sabrina, a good for power. Ghana for sure see too quiet, so we be too quiet for America, we be too quiet for Canada, so go for school or go for better opportunity. Yes, indeed, Ghana is not the same as Canada. We are not the same. And to me, say me need be beer, soon book a CBI and opportunity between Ghana and America. I'll go to America. No two ways about that. Overco, oh doctor, what hey, what China, say maybe buy a battle and maybe you are looking at the outcomes how it will go. Oh, it will interest you to know what choice I'm to go up America. And it has nothing to do with whether or not the state has failed. Yes, admit, sir, maybe I check a crab. We admit, right after COVID, we are G2, sir, check a crab. Who doesn't know that? All over the world, America, UK, all over the world, I check a crab. But it is something, a prophecy that even the president of the land had already given. So we know how to bring back life, for instance, the economy, but we don't know how to bring back life. Admitting said there will be a time after COVID, but nobody is running away from that. But we take responsibility, say yes. Currently, the data assess support to the macroeconomic indicators. Previously, now it's not the same. Sometimes you situate in the proper perspective. Beyond the politics, it be a KBT more. But the picture that you are painting, say, yeah, youth, that chance say, youth, or more bravo question, it is not here, not there. You are a medical doctor, you are employed. Oh, you are employed, Yabe. Busan say employed, Yabe. Say I'm employed between MPP time here. I will just apologize and walk out from here. Oh, yeah, then you my yes, and you many have. I rest my case. Many are, but I just we are doing it to work.
Oh, they work as I so you doctor. Mami 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
As a personal attack on me, but no problem. I don't have a problem.
Oh, if that's how you feel, I'm sorry.
When NDC left power, no say SHS enrollment here 200 and
something that be for you.
Oh, I know they are saying accept. Now me kwa na Ghana. Am I the only person in Ghana? Okay. Before MPP, but now for doctors. So what are they talking about? Yeah, back power. Now you need backlog of nurses.
There was no backlog.
Please. There were back and me no kase 4 batches were free. Yeah, buy clear. Yeah, buy power. Yeah, clear. Yes.
Not
batches.
Yes, 4 batches. Now, 2022 now. Now, see, I'm on the letter by us almost for certain parts of 2020 batch.
2022 now is not even 4 batches.
Please.
It's not even 4. Because 2024.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, we are by it.
Now, nurses will fear.
Me say, the American. So I say NDC by young nurses. What I'm giving you with a document.
You left a backlog.
Let me tell you. In 2013, not necessarily what Ghana had 12,245. 12,245. You free power near 58,000. So what are you talking about? And young one here buying our buy our funny power. But we are talking about a buyer. What bar? What bobo senior ban bia e wo Ghana ba please what was the campus was fine wo kasa be what the taxes senior ban bia wo Ghana ha and so when you buy on a daily basis you are giving excuses why buy a power now SHS enrollment didn't it increase and it's a function of population growth buy no it wasn't 290,000 now SHS enrollment will form. But it increased to 290,000 now. It will now also increase here. Don't come and pillory the Obiaye.
But you don't use nominal figures.
Please.
You don't use nominal figures. Use percentage. Use nominal figures.
Okay, some number one.
No, 1 minute.
Okay, unemployment figures. Your candidate, on any minister, depending on who you listen to, you get different employment figures. Okojina, you can't say 7 February address. Say, Oma employing Nipa 2.3 million. Meanwhile, the manifesto also Oma 2.1. A week after Okosia Media, also Oma 2.1. Meanwhile, the minister, somewhere in 2020, also Oma created 5 million jobs. The following year, no, Asaba Oma created 3.5. Different employment figures depending on who you listen to.
Employment minister.
Yes.
Ignatius Bafwe.
Yes. Different employment figures. So they are lying.
Oh, how?
Me say. The point I make, abai bi aba or employ be.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
But don't come and be citing different figures when you yourself know. How do you employ 5.3 million people? Which should actually cater for every person in this country, and we even import labor into this country.
5.3.
Please. Odi oyena sabisha me yatre no. Me wa me kasa. You understand the point? So please keep quiet. You are still using COVID as an excuse. Aren't you ashamed?
Adenye fact.
O minister be catch here say Ghana ball e wo COVID 12 billion. Meanwhile, COVID sika OGG European Union, IMF, World Bank, Bank of Ghana sika demand was over 27 billion. And you had a windfall of sika e was a winya odiye Ghana here. In fact, if you want to know how a government is affected by a global phenomenon, government is affected by shocks. Do you know the parameter used? It is government's internal revenue. The government projected to get 45 billion in 2020 in taxes. Mm-hmm. They ended up getting 47. Even in the heat of COVID, you had more money than you projected in terms of taxes. How do you come and tell us, say, COVID in Tina Obre? Why? Felicia Tete, Omuva Shema in northern region. One country say COVID say chicken. Emma Omono 1 billion, a parliamentary candidate, Nico Interest Executive, be 1 billion. And you want to answer. How do you use COVID as an excuse? So this sort of propaganda NPP has been engaging in. That is why their party on a daily basis is drowning. Because more people have had the opportunity to read young people in Ghana, 62%. Obia or smartphone. Et who can someone of phone and Google. O minister they catch us about COVID a cut 12 billion. Meanwhile, unya 27 million. On what basis do you look into the face of Ghanaians and tell us say COVID is in our brain? Unkwana COVID chill. Ivory Coast COVID and Chum, Togo COVID and Chum. They are all doing better macroeconomically than Ghana. The only reason is that you have been reckless. What I say, you waste a lot of money. Ghana for sika kakra of their shots. You waste it. What Bobosia say no, you are gaslighting Ghana. Are you the only people who can read? Yeah, we can't read in between the lines. We don't know that Unya Sika 27 billion now spending 12 billion, Rebecca 15 million. Ghana for him. And so how do you look at us and come and tell us, say, COVID is over? And on a daily basis, anytime you see that they use COVID as an excuse, people laugh at them. Because it does not make any sense again. Auditor General's report, at the end, Papa, they say, Omu say Ghana Sika, essay, Abre Bia or Ghana. Omu to 2 years carry that receipt. And the Anisi carry that receipt, no metuya. And you are my senior brother. Because you know. And to me betna TV and na on that Ghana for na the bia you keep on rehashing the same. If it's not COVID-19, it is Russia Ukrainian war. If it's not Russia Ukrainian war, it is Mahama. Please, you have been in power for 8 years. Tell the people of Ghana what you have done with the money they gave you.
Because you na ya men court break him right.
Onkwan wa for the power Ghana.
First of all, my main fan free on the enrollment figures, okay. Then I come into this. But I mean, when you are having a conversation like this, now you keep introducing it. It makes the conversation a bit difficult. But I will attempt to address, because as someone can only focus point, he keeps introducing new things. But I mean, whichever way. first of all, let's start with the enrollment thing or kind. It is important to understand. Say, the impact of race vis-a-vis the enrollment. The context should be very set clearly. First of all, Nkran we school be as well. Averagely, 1/3 of Sankran. No munya akwanya to the senior high school level. That's
before free
yes, before free access. One more okay. You have majority of them also dropping at the end of the day. Indeed, the estimate is that you had about 100,000 Ghanaian students at Bibiano, no more denied access to education. Of course, a government has two options. The first option is to hide it under the umbrella of what we call a cut-off point. So we had the cut-off point of 22. When the state has failed to give an opportunity to Sakran to justify himself. The second option is Obenya Kwenya BMID Amobia. And so cumulatively, no, say free SHS is in a 7th year. 7th year, no. Say 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. You multiply by 7, that is 700,000 Ghanaian students. Indeed, when we talk about, say, oh, you can't increment or increase in enrollment by a natural order occasioned by population growth is wrong. You cannot necessarily just use a nominal figure, say, oh, now you're 299 into your channel, say you're 300,000. It means there has been increase. And then without just supposing it or situating in that right perspective, say, oh, 299 and 500,000, they are never the same. And when you had 800,000 to 1.4 million, they are never the same. You get the conversation wrong. So 800,000 and 1.4 million cannot be occasioned by a natural population growth. It can only take the ingenious innovation of a responsible government, why an agency of EBB to be able to escalate to that level. I just wanted to put that in their perspective. Again, today our address is for the first time. Sir, the whole thought say when the NPP makes a case, they say, oh, we are affected largely also by the impact of COVID. And that of the COVID, after say Russia, Ukraine. I think the COVID then so I'm not spend time on it. I'm going to give you just two key variables on the Russia-Ukraine invasion, so that you accept it or you admit it, say, and not just a cliche in the air. Maybe some way, somehow, as a people, we feel to explain it well. One, those two countries are one of the leading producers of oil. Fuel, yeah, you see. And as soon as there is instability, when it comes to the production of oil, what is going to happen is that all over the world is also going to affect oil prices in the world. Oil price in the back say oil oil the intimacy one day. So I'm saying oil you use about 90%, 99%. So and is a fact. It's not something that I even need a consent from. When sir oil because one of the leading countries we are one more oil boy than India production cost now oil oil boy there. Do you know what it affects? It affects transport cost me boy. It affects production cost me boy. The cascading effect will be on your inflation, causing inflationary pressure. It is a baby catcher say Russia and Ukraine has had an impact on the economy. You cannot tell me as a academician or a medical doctor, you know the basis of economics is a fallacy. It can never be a fallacy. Secondly, it has to do with agricultural production. Agricultural production, 1/3 of wheat flying now is also coming from there. So if such countries are affected, now one more production where in terms of not even wheat and fly alone, fertilizer, the 1/3 of the world production is coming from those countries. And they said, now that country is turning the amount are we not going to have the cascading effect on our economy? So when you talk about Russia and Ukraine invasion, people feel like it's an excuse. It has never been an excuse. It's a reality. Now, come on, what time I come by there? What time are now in COVID? What time are now in Russia-Ukraine invasion? How did you manage the doomsday economy? Oh yeah, say you signed IPPA, all power agreements, 53 of them. When we came back, we had to renegotiate all of them. The Asaba yes, like I indicated, maybe I will see a glass of mine anyhow. But don't paint a gloomy picture. Say, oh, about we are failing. When we were our power during COVID time, I'm sure things would have been worse than this. At the same time, not Ghanaians, it was African country, not the workers, particularly for instance, civil servants, stay for almost a year. Teachers, for almost a full academic year, they were not going to school, but government was paying them. What are you talking about? Say it never had an impact on us. But we have taken responsibility that regardless, whether it had an impact or whether you accept it had an impact or it did not have an impact, we have taken responsibility. Say yes, economy gradually we are recovering the economy, and the cocoa prices at on say.
Okay.
Cocoa price all time now. Talk cocoa one bagger. Net talk. Name talk 7 bags of cement. If you want to put it in that, because we were selling around 475, and they do say, I do 3,000, 30 bags of cement.
Ghana, they tell me.
30 seconds.
What is it?
Again, or make key analogy be about some say COVID time projected money and those. You see, when we are talking about budget, I'm not an economic person, but if you want to look at the budget, you know, and who so or money be so you take the percentage of the expenditure that has been used, not projection and allocation. You don't use that.
Head of PR, the Minister of Education. We have said Komula. Now here live draw. Yeah, none pay drop. Yeah, by say na betwaso. When you now come baby, when we say a moment we never near, but we never paba. We are 12 and you 6. There will be another live draw. Yeah, so bit me. So doctor, I mention say for so. No president share organized labor. Some man in America crack on their intended strike on Galamsey. Now I buy a fan deal with concerns no more a reason. You have some freedom 5 minutes.
Medasi. Re. You see a grobe so anajoa. If you are no pa. And as I went to me and far batami and sa anye nkwanya ma na anye da. Kusi abasa. Intimi ma na anye de. Look. In 8 years.
A medical doctor nebu be
please. In 8 years. Nana Akufo-Addo ne catch Ghana for say ordinary presidency ato line so. Or say even if he will take his presidency, I'm putting my presidency on the line to fight Galamsey. Say na Ekoko de John. Look, when you read the 37-page Professor Frimpong Boateng report, you will be shocked.
The presidency will find to lie.
Or say, Prof say, when Nana Akufo-Addo put a ban on Galamsey, Senate Forestry Commission, they were giving out licenses into forest reserve for people to mine. Internet ban was to lock out legal small-scale miners so that government functionaries will take over their concessions.
How?
That is what the report said. Whilst there was a ban, Ghana BNN said there was a ban on small-scale mining.
Nothing like that.
Forestry Commission was giving out licenses for people to mine in forest reserves.
Is it illegal to mine in a forest reserve?
That time, na Bibia said no. People, meanwhile, there was a ban on small-scale mining. A ban on small-scale mining, but they were giving out licenses. How do you ban small-scale mining and give out licenses? In fact, the people whose name have been mentioned, including a journalist with Despite Media, friend Setmante, he actually went to a police station and lodged an official complaint. Say, on bank accounts, NIB bank accounts now, Galamsey for a more excavators. Omo pay excavator ne back on. Omo be tuye sika gu na account. So some of them 50,000 cedis, some of them 100,000 cedis. Ebebu accounts ni mu a. Now no the amount equal. This is an official statement. Professor Frimpong Boateng they told the report in the mo. It is evidence. On one kasa do you see? So if any investigation, the police can actually use that statement to investigate. What happened to all those people? You had an attorney general who actually came out and defended Omoaya Bomdi was report. Government was not interested.
I said there was no evidence.
Please. Official police report. You think that the government, if the government is minded, they can't invite that person to investigate or to question him?
So we invite a Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Please. Professor Frimpong Boateng. Yeah, or no, or Galamsey. He mentioned people's names. I'm saying that.
What call report me ama akwesi. Do you think so the fact so bold me dia kwesi and no afre me? So he wouldn't put you to straight to find out some partner wo kan no say be ensuo mo class meeting dia.
He invited Professor Frimpong Boateng. Didn't see.
Maybe they didn't find anything substantial about the claims no make.
So ensuo na aye brown no mercury na egum no. Didn't see a miracle ne e be dane brown. Something is happening. People are doing it.
Maybe it's not the people who bomb Modin.
Please. Oh. Me say the man was the minister, the head of the interministerial committee.
Yeah.
And and no findings about for this someone galam. So is the government not interested in knowing say these people are they actually being galamsey or not? What has happened to those people? What has happened to them? Look, I am not against mining.
Okay.
Certainly, am I not against small scale mining? I am against people polluting water bodies. I am against people mining in forest reserves without permission. Why don't have entry? Any pana? Yet, I know what $20 million of diesel out there mining. What has happened to him? He didn't have a mining license. He only had a prospecting license.
$20 million of diesel.
I was reporting him.
Yes, $20 million worth of diesel.
37-page Professor Report Watson report on Kayana. Go and read it. Nearby a woman, no, but nobody has been able to say government is not interested in investigating
$20 million worth of diesel.
Why? On Kay Professor Report Watson report.
I don't know say way.
No. On Kay Professor Report Watson. Thanks.
$20 million.
Yes. On Kay 37-page Professor Report Watson report nana. On Kay.
The memory of get to be a honor for me.
Share. So the government
$20 million.
Yeah, $20 million diesel
worth of diesel.
If Obi was $20 million worth of diesel, your guess is as good as mine. The number of
a full bed concession.
Share. Yeah, forest reserve. And to send
diesel is
$20 million. Your guess is as good as mine. The number of excavators also. Side the panel, yes, I don't know. On a more free of charge.
Okay.
So, we are not against mining. We are not against small scale mining, but we are against people mining in forest reserve without permission. People mining in water bodies. And the government of the day is knee deep in the matter. Omwankasa omoka omanwa for omotoa for. It is said they want to do for chess wedi bofre. Oto for 104. Omo na ye adeno. Why? You can say obi a young street guy onam oboase a ana onam Ghana kuro baby a onam on ultimate to excavator. Ultimate to dam truck. But no, omo no but government officials now omo here with heavy earth moving equipments. And omo yes adeno.
And Jomama you any government official who be behind.
I am saying that. Mention one.
Okay.
Why? The biggest heavy lifting in terms of anti-galamsey. That time was Chinese. You deported 5,000 Chinese. You increase the penalty to 5 years. Oh, galamsey. So we are not against mining. We are not against what, but we are in for practices that will make sure say proper mining is done. Let me give you some of them. Number one, you say you be banning mining in forest unapproved forest reserves. Number two, you say you be yempe mining to water bodies. Number three, yempe obe involving itself in any act of illegal mining. So we a small scale miner. Now who engage yourself in any act of illegal mining, your license will be revoked. There are many of them. I believe that in my second submission I will list all of them for you. Please.
Second submission. I'm 5,000 Chinese. Maybe I'm more than $20 million of worth of diesel there. Me just a crack about how. Me say dey good time come on. You dey go Google excavator say, but anyway, let me start with one submission. Me back galamsey nkoma. Me as a person, every day, me a bit reserved about it.
Okay.
In the sense, sebio, obi anywhere we are say baby ano. Obeji atum say yense ni so. Umu bi no document monya kwanya tu kwan no. Ukonko bi so a. Ohwe the hierarchy of priority okro no a nkwara ema ensuo. Ansa kwa na sebio bro meka se mema cry dey aba. Nti under no circumstance na me be defend asemesi ana obenti. Se me kwesi kwa ati na me galamsey a obomidin a say obomidin ni shemu me, and if there are any necessary prosecution to us or say so me my posture has always been the same. Me try and defend obi a galamsey bia. Then so can we should also be able to distinguish between mining as a small scale mining and it also illegal mining. Say be able and you will be a mining bia and a galamsey. So we should also get that distinction very clear. if you are not very careful, I thought that in an attempt to solve a problem, one more will be economic, something Cobra effect. One here, you rather escalate the problem. Because a lot of the conversation about galamsey, yes, I condemn any form of illegal mining, but a lot of the conversations about galamsey, some of them are pivoted on sensationalism. One, I know penny bit radio Sami Modi. Also, yes, in Kwara Santa Regia, Kwara ya warm, Sebu, they don't even have their sexual organs. You see, be limbs, you see, be nailed to try, you see, way. There is no scientific data to support that. If you understand what yes, so cool, so may she make those things. It will be most important. Say, oh, we have scientific data to support that. I'm not saying intimacy. Okay. A bit messy. You so one bit me make all those things. I said, me and maybe I me fear me for some time like Zoma. So I know the consequence of if it's a galamsey activity. But the fundamental question you ask yourself is Zoma and Grande to galamsey. It's also another question. So Obi Beka say, oh, can Zoma because of galamsey, but then can you do galamsey? So you can decouple the rare facts and the raw issues from the whole act of sensationalism. Near manna ye who as if heaven is breaking loose. No, it's not like that. Hey, can I land respectfully? Mijitum say galamsey is a wrong thing. Illegal mining activities. But me, I've always maintained that first of all, is an enforcement failure on all of us as a country. In terms of enforcement, we should be able to do more. And where galamsey, me broaden conversation to even a broader perspective. It goes beyond the enforcement attitude. It goes beyond galamsey as a people. Where Kromha, Maton videos last week make kai. Mr. Kromha, Mr. Kakasi, do traffic light, na police will have. Traffic light is so green. Can't say that. Land cruisers don't, irrespective of the all power, whether MPP or NDC, enforcement, a general performance on enforcement of laws has been weak as a people, and it's almost become culture. It's so legal. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be illegal enforcement. So our general performance on enforcement of our laws, generally, we need to do more as a people, which I admit. But galamsey problem it goes beyond only enforcement. Yeah? We have cultural aspect of it. You have social aspect of it. You have economic aspect of it. And yet dear catches because President Akufo-Addo is in power and President Akufo-Addo can say or the presidency are on the line say bibi because it means that he failed to address it. No, it's just like how unemployment issue now 800,000 people are unemployed. 500,000 people have been employed. 300,000 have not been employed. And no chance about creating you. The fact that you start a fight and the fight, and at some point you have some successes. At some point you have challenges. No, that it has nothing to do with that. Ultimately, I know the command responsibility. Ultimately, the party, the government takes responsibility. Say, I say I was saying But for me, if you ask me, the fight against galamsey is more collective than you can define. Okay. Why not the collective? Now, and we have you prior to 2020 election. Former President John Mahama went to places galamsey sites and tell them, say, me baba be and go for a church or more atu galamsey for a church or more atumo na me baba be you or more no one than Nambufra. And politically, it has a cascading outcome, a one politically. We are sure say if we are there and we are a certain government and the galamsey conversation comes up, won't you be more careful in addressing it? And we are not saying that galamsey should continue, but I'm saying it's something that you have a conversation in a very proper context. But there is another leg. The leg they be America say our reason there is a correlation between galamsey activities and political fund party or political activities funding. Abribiano. Maybe it's a research topic for all of us. Say whether NDC or MPP comes into power, the lack of political will be questioned because education minister Dr. Samia Medasi. So Friday sectorial debate. Match